They told you aging meant slowing down. That feeling tired, stiff, or less vibrant was simply the price of getting older. But they were wrong. You're not finished. You're not broken. You've just been quietly forgotten. What if the problem isn't your age? What if it's something far more fixable, something no one ever taught you to look at? Not your testosterone, not your medication, but your breakfast. Every morning, men over 60 across the world sit down to the same familiar meals: toast, cereal, coffee. Comforting, yes. But quietly, dangerously, those habits may be restricting the very blood flow that gives life to your energy, your confidence, and your most personal sense of vitality. In this video, we're going to uncover how to change that using nothing more than food. No shame, no prescriptions, just honest truth and a path forward. This is for the man who wakes up feeling heavy, who looks in the mirror and wonders when the spark began to fade. It's for the man who loves deeply but quietly avoids intimacy because his body isn't cooperating. It's for the man who's spent a lifetime showing up for others and is now finally asking, when do I start showing up for myself? You are not alone, and you are absolutely not beyond help. Let's talk about the struggle few men ever voice. You forget names you used to remember. You feel cold even under layers of blankets. You lie next to someone you love and still feel disconnected. And maybe, just maybe, a small voice inside whispers, is this just the beginning of the end? But what if your body isn't breaking down? What if it's just waiting for a signal, a reason to fight again? Here's the truth most doctors never explain. After 50, testosterone levels dip. Circulation begins to slow. Nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for opening blood vessels, starts to decline rapidly. It's not just fatigue. It's not just performance. It's biochemical. It's your cells saying, I need help. But the help doesn't have to come in a bottle. It can come from your kitchen. Clinical studies from places like the Mayo Clinic and Harvard have shown that natural compounds in food, specifically dietary nitrates, have the power to restore circulation and reopen blood vessels within hours. This isn't a fad. It's biology. And one of the richest sources of these compounds is spinach. Spinach isn't just for salads. It's for saving your mornings. When consumed early in the day, spinach begins converting into nitric oxide, helping your blood vessels relax, widen, and deliver oxygen-rich blood where it's needed most, including your pelvis. This single change can begin reversing years of circulatory decline. One of my patients once told me, "Doc, after just a week of eating spinach in the morning, I woke up feeling connected again." But the power of spinach isn't just in the physical change. It's in what it symbolizes: a return, a quiet reconnection with the part of you that wants to live fully again. It's the small but powerful act of choosing healing instead of resignation. Of saying to your body, I haven't given up on you. I'm ready to feel again. And that's just the beginning. In part 2, we'll show you how combining spinach with one creamy probiotic-rich food can double its effect, calm your gut, and ignite your circulation even faster. Your body wants to heal. All it needs is your permission and the right fuel. If you're ready to take the next step toward energy connection and confidence, join me in the next chapter. Let's build your comeback one morning at a time. Spinach is your starting point. But if you truly want to unlock its full power to move beyond temporary improvement into lasting transformation, we have to go deeper. Not into more supplements or harder workouts, but into a part of your body most men overlook entirely: your gut. The truth is, your gut is more than just a digestive organ. It's your body's command center, a control hub that influences your immune system, your hormones, and yes, even your circulation. When your gut is out of balance, it sends silent signals throughout the body: low-grade inflammation, tight blood vessels, sluggish blood flow, especially to the areas where men feel the effects of aging most. That's why fixing blood flow down there isn't just about arteries. It's also about bacteria. And that's where Greek yogurt comes in. This isn't just a breakfast food. Greek yogurt, rich in probiotics and live cultures, helps restore the microbial balance in your gut, reducing inflammation and improving the way your body absorbs critical nutrients like the nitrates from spinach. When your gut is healthy, nitric oxide production becomes more efficient and circulation improves. I've seen men go from cold and sluggish to warm, steady, and clear-headed in a matter of weeks, not with a new prescription, but with a bowl of yogurt. Now add berries, vibrant, colorful berries like blueberries, raspberries, or strawberries, and you supercharge that effect. These fruits contain powerful plant compounds called anthocyanins. Not only do they support the integrity of your blood vessels, but they actively protect nitric oxide from breaking down too quickly. That means better flow, longer-lasting energy, and a steadier sense of vitality throughout the day. Plus, berries are rich in vitamin C, which further shields nitric oxide and improves arterial flexibility. One of my patients, Martin, a 64-year-old retired teacher, was skeptical. He'd been starting his mornings with toast and jam for years. I asked him to try something different, a bowl of Greek yogurt topped with fresh blueberries alongside a spinach smoothie. He looked at me like I was crazy. But 2 weeks later, he came back and said, "Doc, I don't know what happened, but I feel like I finally woke up." This isn't a miracle. It's simply the body receiving what it's needed all along. When you combine spinach, Greek yogurt, and berries in the morning, you create a trifecta, a healing team. Spinach opens the blood vessels. Yogurt supports your gut's ability to activate nitric oxide. Berries protect and sustain the entire process. The result: blood flows more easily, warmth returns, confidence builds. Not in an overpowering way, but in that quiet, grounded way you recognize when you feel more like yourself again. But we're not done. Because blood vessels don't just need nitric oxide, they need flexibility. They need nourishment to stay elastic, responsive, and resilient. And that's where our next food comes in, one of the most misunderstood, underrated powerhouses for men's health: the avocado. Yes, that soft green fruit your kids or grandkids might put on toast is actually one of nature's most effective tools for keeping your arteries open and your blood moving. Avocados are packed with heart-healthy, monounsaturated fats and potassium, two nutrients essential for vascular elasticity. When arteries stiffen with age, blood struggles to reach the lower body. But when they remain supple, circulation thrives, and so does your performance. I had a patient named Frank, 70 years old, former factory supervisor, tough exterior. He laughed when I told him to add half an avocado to his breakfast. "Doc," he said, "that's millennial food." But he gave it a shot, mashed onto whole grain toast with a little lemon and olive oil. 2 weeks later, he returned with a different energy. "I don't know what's in that green stuff," he told me, "but I'm walking easier and waking up firmer." He wasn't bragging. He was relieved. He felt like he was coming back into his body again. And now let's sweeten the deal with a small but powerful addition: dark chocolate. I'm not talking about candy bars or sugary treats. I mean real 70% cacao or higher dark chocolate. Just 2 small squares can deliver an impressive dose of flavanols, plant-based compounds that boost nitric oxide and improve blood vessel function. When paired with your morning smoothie or coffee, dark chocolate can enhance blood flow, lift your mood, and round out your morning routine with a gentle emotional boost. One of my clients, William, described his mornings as stuck in first gear. He'd start the day sluggish, heavy, unsure of himself. I suggested adding dark chocolate to his breakfast alongside his spinach and berries. Just a few days later, he looked brighter, more upright. "Doc," he said, "I don't feel stuck anymore. When you eat these foods together, spinach, Greek yogurt berries, avocado, and dark chocolate, you're not just eating. You're creating momentum. You're building a morning ritual that restores the rhythm. Your body's been asking for a rhythm that says, we're not declining. We're coming alive again." And there's one more piece, Shom. One final ingredient that acts like a natural amplifier for everything we've just discussed, a royal red fruit with ancient roots and modern science to back it up. In Part 3, we'll explore the circulation-enhancing powers of pomegranate juice and how it ties your entire morning routine together in the most powerful way yet. So stay with me, because your best mornings might still be ahead. There's a fruit so ancient, so richly symbolic, that kings once adorned their thrones with it. And for good reason. It wasn't just beautiful, it was powerful. Today, science has confirmed what those ancient cultures seemed to know all along. Pomegranate doesn't just taste good, it heals. Especially for men over 60, this ruby red fruit has become one of nature's most powerful allies in the fight against poor circulation and declining performance. It supports nitric oxide production. It widens blood vessels. It even reverses some of the early warning signs of blood flow loss down there. And the best part, it's as simple as a small glass of juice each morning. Let me tell you about Edward, 68 years old, retired school teacher, soft-spoken, thoughtful. He came into my office looking weary. His words were heavy. "Doc," he said, "my hands are cold. My feet too. And honestly, I don't remember the last time I felt connected down there. I'm not looking for magic. I just want to feel like myself again." I asked him to try something unexpected, 4 ounces of pure pomegranate juice with breakfast. That was it. No medications, no routines, just a small daily act of self-care. 3 weeks later, he came back with a warmth in his eyes I hadn't seen before. "Something's waking up inside me," he said quietly. He didn't need to say more. I knew what he meant. That's the power of this fruit. Not hype, not instant gratification. Just nature doing what it's done for thousands of years, one heartbeat at a time. Pomegranate works because it's loaded with polyphenols, elagitannins, and anthocyanins, names that sound complicated, but their role is simple. These compounds stimulate nitric oxide, protect it from breaking down too quickly, and help your arteries remain open longer. In fact, studies show that pomegranate juice can increase blood vessel diameter and improve flow within just 30 minutes of drinking it. And when used regularly, it doesn't just provide a temporary boost. It trains your arteries to stay relaxed, open, and resilient. That means better blood flow throughout the day, not just in the bedroom, but in your heart, your legs, your brain, your mood. You become more present in your life again, and that presence is priceless. Now imagine this: you start your day with spinach to fuel nitric oxide, Greek yogurt and berries to protect and enhance it, avocado and dark chocolate to nourish your arteries. And then you finish with a glass of pomegranate juice, locking everything into place. That's not just breakfast. That's therapy. That's renewal. That's a man telling his body, "I'm not done. I'm showing up." And when you put it all together, these 5 natural tools, something greater than the sum of its parts, begins to emerge. You're no longer surviving mornings. You're reclaiming them. But change isn't just about food. It's about rhythm. Your body thrives on patterns, not chaos. It wants consistency. It wants to know that help is coming not once, but every day. That's why the men who see the biggest transformations are the ones who build rituals, not just one-time habits. So let me give you something more than advice. Let me give you a simple 3-step daily rhythm that thousands of my patients have followed to restore energy circulation and, yes, dignity. It starts in the morning. Within an hour of waking, give your body the nutrients it craves: spinach, blend it into a smoothie with Greek yogurt and berries, a small side of avocado toast, maybe 2 squares of dark chocolate with your tea or coffee, and 4 ounces of pure pomegranate juice. You've now created a morning stack that activates nitric oxide, heals the gut, relaxes your vessels, and keeps circulation moving all day. By midday, movement becomes your medicine. A 10-15-minute walk after lunch can stimulate blood flow, reduce stress hormones, and promote better energy through the afternoon. This is also your time to reconnect, even if it's just a short phone call to a loved one or a moment of gratitude. Intimacy isn't just physical. It starts in moments of presence. Midday is the heartbeat of your day. Protect it. And finally, in the evening, your job is to recover. No screens an hour before bed. Sip calming tea, chamomile, lemon balm, or ginger. Write 1 sentence in a journal. Not a report, just a whisper to yourself: I'm healing. This tells your nervous system that it's safe to rest, and that rest is where nitric oxide is restored, arteries are repaired, and blood flow is renewed for tomorrow. 3 steps. Morning activation, midday movement, evening repair. That's your rhythm. That's your restoration. I've watched men in their 70s, even 80s, follow this rhythm and come back to life in ways their younger selves would envy. Not louder, not faster, but more present, more steady, more connected to who they are. You're not chasing youth anymore. You're reclaiming presence. But there's one final step, the one most men resist. And it's not food, it's not movement. It's the emotional step of giving yourself permission to heal, to believe that you are still worthy of warmth, of strength, of connection. In part 4, we're going to talk about that. We're going to close this journey with something far more powerful than diet or science. We're going to talk about dignity, and how after years of giving yourself away to work, to family, to obligations, it's time to come home to your own health, your own peace, your own vitality. If that resonates with you, I'll meet you there in the final chapter. Let's pause not to talk about spinach or nitric oxide or even pomegranate, but to talk about something more important: you. Not your body, not your hormones, but the man behind all of it. The one who showed up to work even when he was exhausted. The one who put his family's needs ahead of his own for decades. The one who smiled through pressure, who carried more than he ever let on. The man who was always strong for others, and now quietly wonders if anyone even sees him anymore. You've been strong for a long time, but real strength, it isn't about holding it all together. Sometimes it's about letting go of the pressure, the shame, the idea that you have to fix everything alone. Sometimes it's about saying, I matter too. That's not selfish, that's healing. And healing, my friend, is not a straight line. It's a return. A return to the parts of yourself you thought were gone. A return to the clarity, the energy, the connection, not to youth, but to presence. You see, no one really talks about the emotional side of aging. They talk about the numbers, the test results, the pills. But they don't talk about what it feels like to look in the mirror and not recognize the spark in your eyes. Or to lie next to someone you love and feel distant. Or to feel your body retreating from the world, even while your heart still wants to engage with it. This is the part of the journey that matters most, not the spinach or supplements, but the decision to care again. To reclaim the quiet dignity that comes from knowing you are still alive inside. Because you are. And it's never too late to show up for yourself. Let's revisit the rhythm we've created not as a task list, but as a sacred ritual. Each morning you choose foods that heal your circulation and steady your energy: spinach, Greek yogurt berries, avocado, dark chocolate, and pomegranate juice. Each midday you move your body even gently and reconnect with someone or something that reminds you that life is still full of color. Each evening you rest not just physically, but emotionally. You let go of what you can't control and welcome stillness. This isn't about chasing performance. It's about reclaiming your right to feel like yourself again. And that is powerful. You've given so much to your family, your career, your community. Now it's time to give something back to yourself. Not because you're trying to fix anything, but because you're worth caring for. Because your story isn't over. Because the second half of life can be more grounded, more meaningful, and more alive if you give your body and your spirit the space to reconnect. You're not chasing youth. You're reclaiming presence, power, and peace. And you're doing it one morning at a time. So let this be your next step, not a leap, just a step. Maybe it's choosing spinach instead of toast tomorrow. Maybe it's a short walk after lunch instead of sitting in the same chair. Maybe it's sipping tea tonight instead of watching one more episode. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be yours. And if any part of this video resonated with you, if even one sentence made you feel seen, then leave a comment below and simply say, "I'm ready." Not ready for perfection, not ready for pressure, just ready to feel alive again. Steady, strong, connected. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss what we share here at Senior Health Secrets, where real answers meet real dignity. Because you're not just getting older, you're evolving, and the best version of your life. It starts with one good morning.